All right, on to 3.8 number 10. And what I would tell you in 3.8 number 10, let's make some notes here first. The derivative of natural log of x. So if we take natural log of x, the derivative of that is equal to 1 over x. So that's just something to note. There is a little bit of a mess here though, and so if you didn't know that off the top of your head, you could look back and take a look at theorem 3.17. So that's by theorem 3.17. So I'll just make a note of that over here. This is theorem 3.17. That's the derivative of the natural log. Now you'll also notice, so this is really a chain rule because it's not just the natural log of x, it's natural log of a function of x is what it really is that we're looking here. So it's a chain rule, so I need to use the chain rule on this one too, which is again f prime of g of x times g prime of x. So let's go ahead and get started here. We need both of those things. So we need to work with the chain rule. So we need to do the derivative of the outside with the inside left alone. The derivative of the outside is the natural log. Just call it the natural log of x. Well, we know that that derivative is 1 over x, but natural log of x, the x is actually 2x to the 8th. So that's what you got to write. That is your f prime of g of x. We want to multiply that by g prime of x. So that's the f prime of g of x, and we multiply that by g prime of x. Well, g prime of x is just the derivative of this stuff here, 2x to the 8th. That's just a power rule. So 8 times 2 is 16x to the 7th. So that's going to be your derivative. I'll just call that d dx. Now, like everything else, when we're doing these, I would much prefer that you take these to the next level. So do a little bit of reduction on this. We know that it's 16x to the 7th over 2x to the 8th, which in this case is equal to, we've got an 8 on the top. 16 divided by 2 puts an 8 on the top. And x to the 7th completely goes away. 7 of these go away. So 16 becomes 8. The 2 becomes 1. But I still have 1x down here. So it looks to me like I have 8. Oops, sorry about that. 8 over x. And pointer options, eraser. And let's get my pen back here. Little typo there. 8 over x. And I would tell you that when you do an answer like this, if this is the derivative, I would say provided x does not equal 0. That's an important thing if you ever show a variable in the denominator like that. We got to tell it that x can't be 0.